Morning, Mariam. جنة جودة، ياسين، يوسف عوض. هايا جنة الجرايحي، يوسف السحراوي. Okay, guys. So in the first session, we started explaining the journal written by Warren Lee Goss, one of the soldiers. Again, a private means a low-rank soldier in the Union forces. He tells us about how he volunteered and how he felt before he volunteered or enlisted in the Union forces. And he described how his first uniform was not his size. He described it. I think we stopped here. Sorry. Yes, here he was describing his first uniform and explained how it was not his size. I want someone to describe how his first uniform was not his size. Can anybody explain how? Can anybody here explain how? If you were paying attention in the first session. Yusuf al-Sahrawi, fix your mic, please. I'll give you 1 minute. Yusuf al-Sahrawi. If you don't fix it, I'm sorry. Yusuf al-Sahrawi. Yes, Haya, go ahead.
His trousers were too long.
Yes, about 3
and
or 4
his
inches.
flannel t-shirt was yes, and his flannel t-shirt was unpleasant.
Yes, of course.
And it had a large neck.
Yes.
High-necked.
Okay. The only good item was his blouse,
only
right?
liked his blouse.
Yes, and his overcoat was very big for him, right? Too big for him. Thank you very much, Hai. Okay, so let's complete, guys. I have 2 chats from 2 people. Yusuf Sahrawi. I'm with Yusuf, you're with me. I want to hear your voice, Habibi, because some people play music, as you heard. I want to spot this person, and I will, inshallah. I don't want to doubt anybody. I doubt 2 people now, but I want to make sure who plays music, because this is not good for the whole class. If you don't stop this, this is not good for the whole class. I'm not threatening, but to, let's say, to bully your teacher, a 46-year-old man, this is not proper. This is improper, especially if you boys and girls know who this person is. It was the first time to happen in your class yesterday, and it is repeated twice today. I removed this person from the class, and then another person asked it to join again, so I doubt this person. Please, I want to hear your voice. I want to make sure that you are used. From tomorrow on, inshallah, I'll ask you to be on camera. Don't be angry with me. I never asked you to do this, but from tomorrow on, if you want to attend my class, you must be on camera, okay? I hope you all understand. Sorry, Yusuf. Thank you very much. Thank you, Haya. I'll go on. So again, to wrap up the page we did in the first session, a young man from Massachusetts in the very north wants to volunteer in the Union forces with much hope for travel and promotion. As for travel, he got it. He traveled a lot. And for promotion, he didn't get much of it because he spent 4 years in the army. The duration of the Civil War from 61 to 65, and he wasn't promoted a lot, or he wasn't satisfied with the promotion he got. Okay, I have two people trying to join. Tadrus. Okay. Uh, After enlisting, I did not seem so much uh, consequence as I had expected. So he didn't find maybe enjoyment. He expected enjoyment. He expected fun. Okay, there was not so much excitement on account of my military appearance. Of course, his appearance wasn't fun at all, as we described his uniform, as I deemed justly my due, as he expected. I was taught my facings. You know, facing guys, turn right, turn left. And you know, when you join, when you are a recruit, when you are newly drafted in the army, you learn your facings. Turn left, turn right, back, forward, and so on. These are called facings. And at the same time, I thought the drill master, the person who was training them, the trainer or the instructor, needlessly fussy about shouldering, putting the gun on your shoulder, ordering and presenting arms the way they carry the arms or the weapons and so on. These drills that I didn't join the army myself. Maybe you watched it in videos or you'll see it when you join the army, inshallah. At this time, men were often drilled in company together in groups and regimental evolutions long before they learned the manual of arms. They learned their facings or their movements before they carried arms, maybe, because of the difficulty of obtaining muskets. Muskets, you know, the guns, the traditional guns with long barrels. I think they had double barrels. People who play games know this better than me. These we obtained at an early day, but we would willingly have resigned them after carrying them a few hours. So they used to receive the muskets and then return them after a few hours. The musket, after an hour's drill, seemed heavier and less ornamental than it had looked to be. The first day I went out to drill, getting tired of doing the same things over and over. You know, you have, I think here in Egypt, you have about 3 months of drilling before you join your, or you know, your specialization in the army. I said to the drill sergeant once, to the drill master, let's stop this fooling and go over to the grocery. Let's go shopping. Let's stop this fooling, waste of time, and let's go shopping. His only reply was addressed to a corporal, another officer or soldier of a little bit higher rank. Corporal, take this man and drill him. Take him out of this group and drill him. And the corporal did. I found that suggestions were not so well appreciated in the army. You know, in the army, you don't have to suggest, you don't have to give an opinion. As in private life. In your private life, you can suggest something, you can advise, you can give opinion, you can comment, you can reply, okay, you can like, but here in the army, in the military life, you're not allowed to do any of this stuff. And that no wisdom was equal to a drill master's right face, left wheel, and right oblique march. These are the orders they got in the trainings or drills. It takes a raw recruit. A raw means a green or an inexperienced soldier, a new soldier. It takes him some time to learn that he is not to think or suggest. You're not allowed to think, to give an opinion or suggest, but obey. This is the military life, as you know, obey. Some never do learn. Some raw or green recruits never learn. Okay, I acquired it at last. He learned it at last. And the word at last shows that he took some time. He learned it, but slowly, and he took long time to learn these facings and these movements. In humility and mud, he learned it in humility. Again, he had to obey and obey only. You don't have to give opinion or advise or suggest. And they were drilling in the mud, as you know. But it was tough. The drilling was hard. Yet, I doubt if my patriotism during my first 3 weeks drill was quite knee-high. Knee high means up to your knees, and you know your knees are about 50 centimeters up from the ground, which means my patriotism was low in the first 3 weeks. Drilling looks easy to a spectator. If you are not taking part in the drilling, you think it's easy, but it isn't. This is his opinion about drilling. This is Warren Lee Gus, or Gus's opinion about drilling. After a time, I had cut my down my uniform so that I could see out of it because it was too big for me, as he said, and had conquered the drill sufficiently to see through it. Then the word came onto Washington. He was ready now. He was well drilled. He was well trained. And it's time to join or to go to the battlefield in Washington. Of course, Washington at that time was Washington, D.C. only, because now we have Washington, D.C., the capital city. It's just a city state or a city, and Washington, the state in the very northwest of America. Uh,
مستر ابراهيم
yes,
مستر في ناس في الويتنج روم عايز حضرتك تدخلهم.
yes, I accepted Hassan. Hassan Gouda.
حسن عند يحيى. يحيى عوض.
Yes, miss.
I just was telling Tadris that I have admitted you, Hassan. Welcome back. You are late, Hassan.
Okay, thank you, miss.
Welcome, Hassan. Here we have some questions. I hope you all, I have about 10 or 11 people in the room. So please be active. Would you have volunteered to fight during the early days of the Civil War? This is your opinion, guys. Any opinion is welcome. Please give your opinion. Any opinion is welcome. I want you all to raise your hands, please. This is not a difficult question. Just give your opinion. I don't need to call names. Ganna Gouda, can you hear me? Am I supposed to call each name 10 times?
Yes.
Guys, if you don't pay attention, please leave the room. If you don't pay attention, leave the room. Guys, Ganna, answer the first question, please. Ganna, this is your opinion. Ganna, will you answer?
Said I don't know.
You don't know what? Just give your opinion.
I
Read
will
the question,
volunteer.
please. Read the question, please, Ganna.
Would you have volunteered to fight during the early days of the Civil War? Why or why not?
Your opinion, yes, why, no, why, and any answer is correct. What's the problem? Go ahead.
I will volunteer.
Why? Perfect. Why? Because I want to defend my homeland, because I want to protect America. It was one country at that time. I want to protect the United States of America from division. Okay, thank you. Thank you again. Number 2A, I want Tadros to answer it. Describe Warren Lee Goss's feelings on the day he was to enlist in the army. Remember when he stood in front of the door? Tadros? Tadros, are you following up? Yahya Awad? Yahya? Yahya Awad? Okay, Yassine? Yassine, can you hear me? Yasin, I can't hear you, Yasin. Any problem with your mic? Okay, someone else, I can't hear Yasin. Looks like there is a problem with his mic. Okay, Yasin. Okay, Yusuf Hawad, go ahead until Yasin solve the problem with his mic. Okay, Yusuf.
He enjoyed that he served in the army.
Hmm.
He was a general in the army. He fought in the war.
Describe his feelings, Yusuf, on the first day he went to enlist in the army. How he felt on that day.
He was happy and
He was happy, but the most important point is that he was hesitated. He wanted to enlist, but he thought of putting it off sometime, delaying it off sometime, and then he opened or turned the knob of the door and entered and enlisted. Okay, so he was hesitated. He was hesitated, right? Thank you, Yusuf. Question B, how did private again is a low rank soldier. A private is again a low rank soldier. How did Private Gus's attitudes and expectations change after he enlisted? What were his wishes or hopes, and then how they turned out or they ended? How did they end? Yusuf Sahrawi, you haven't solved the problem with the mic. I'm sorry, Yusuf. Janna Gouda, solve the problem with your mic. طيب, Ruhaim, can you answer this question? Ruhaim? Hassan? Hassan Ruhaim? Okay. Jana Garaih. Jana?
Yes, Mister.
Can you answer question 2B?
I have 1 minute.
How did Private Gus's attitudes and expectations change after he enlisted? He expected something, and what he found in reality was something different. If you were following up.
Yes. I'm trying to remember.
Okay, no problem. I'll move on to the next point. We have another journal, a Confederate account of the Battle of Gettysburg. This is how it is pronounced, Gettysburg. The Battle of Gettysburg, the battle about which we talked yesterday, on July 3rd, I think, 1863, in the middle of the Civil War, in the small town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The Union troops killed a large number of the Confederate, and this was a turning point in the Civil War. About 51,000 people got killed and injured. About 51,000 people in 6 hours got killed or injured. This is description of this battle written by Randolph Mackem. The Battle of Gettysburg is often referred to as the turning point in the Civil War, the point at which the North gained the upper hand. In his diary, Confederate soldier Randolph Mackem, again, this is a Confederate soldier, he belonged to the South, describes the bravery of his companions, his friends, many of whom were killed or wounded during the advance on Culp's Hill. The advance was led by Makim himself. He was the leader of this troop. Then he says in this journal, then came General Ewell's order to assume the offensive and assail the crest, the top of Cobb's Hill. Orders came from General Ewell to start or get ready for the offensive. Offensive is the preparation for attacking someone. And assail, attack the crest, the top of Cobb's Hill. On our right, the works to be stormed ran almost at right angles to those who occupied. The works are like the entrenchments and the walls, the low walls, or the, let's say, they put sacks filled with sand and so on to hide behind them. These are called the works. Moreover, there was a double line of entrenchments. There were two entrenchments, and we explained the meaning of entrenchment yesterday, one above the other, and each filled with troops. In moving to the attack, we were exposed to enfilading fire, and we have the explanation of this expression at the bottom of the page, because I didn't find this word in the dictionary. Enfilading means gunfire directed along the length of a column or line of troops. Gunfire directed along the length of a column, yani all the people in this column or this row will be killed or will be injured. So from the woods, they were subjected to fire from the woods on our left flank, besides the double line of fire which we had to face in front. People of the north were hiding in two entrenchments. The southern people received fire from the two entrenchments and from the forest, and a battery of artillery posted on a hill to our left. Yani fire surrounded them from almost all the directions. Rear open, rear means back, opened upon us at short range. All of them. A fire came from our right, from our left, from our front, from our back. On swept the gallant little brigade, the 3rd North Carolina. These are some of the brigades of the Southern forces. On the right of the line, next, this is description, it's not important. Next, the 2nd Maryland, then the 3 Virginia regiments, 10th, 23rd, and 37th, and so on, with the 1st North Carolina on the extreme left. Its ranks had been sadly thinned. Many people were injured. When the soldiers, or when a brigade is thinned, some people fell down or were killed or injured. And its energies greatly depleted. They had no energy. By those 6 fearful hours, they fought for 6 hours. They were surrounded by fire from any or every direction of battle that morning. But its nerve and spirit were undiminished. This is a very important line or clause, but its nerve, the courage and spirit of the soldiers were undiminished, although they lost energy, and a large number of them were injured or killed. Soon, however, the left and center were checked and then repulsed, probably by the severe flank fire from the woods and the small remnant of the 3rd North Carolina with the stronger 2nd Maryland. I do not recall the banners of any other regiment, were far in advance of the rest of the line. Again, these details are not very important. On they pressed to within about 20 or 30 paces. They advanced for about 20 to 30 steps of the works. A small but gallant band of heroes daring to attempt, although they were faced with all this fire, they advanced about 20 to 30 paces or steps, what could not be done by flesh and blood. So they were heroes, they were very brave to do this. The end soon came. We were beaten, Again, he belonged to the Confederate troops, and they were beaten back to the line from which they started. Okay, and in much confusion, they were confused, but the enemy did not make a counter charge. By the strenuous efforts of the officers of the line and of the staff, order was restored. They restored their order, and we reformed in the breastworks. Breastworks are, according to the definition here, low walls put up quickly as a defense in battle, from which we had emerged. They hid behind these walls there to be again exposed to an artillery fire exceeding in violence that of the, sorry, I have some noise around me in the street, down in the street. I live on the first floor. That early morning. It remains only to say that, like Pickett's men, what's Pickett's men here? General George Pickett was a Confederate officer who led the unsuccessful attack on the Union position. In the day this single brigade was hurled unsupported, he complains that these brave soldiers who advanced for 20 or 30 paces were not supported against the enemy's works. Daniel's brigade remained in the breastworks during and after the charge, and neither from that command nor from any other had we any support. And we didn't receive any support from anyone. He's complaining here. Of course, it is to be presumed that General Daniel acted in obedience to orders, as if he's talking sarcastically here, because he said that the general acted in obedience to orders. He was obedient to the military orders, and this is sometimes something negative. He wasn't ordered to advance. The writer of this, Mr. Meckham, doesn't like this idea. We remained in this breastwork after the charge about an hour before we finally abandoned. We left the Federal entrenchments and retired to the foot of the hill. We came back or went back to the foot of the hill. We have about a couple of minutes before the end of the session. Sorry, I want just to make sure you're following up. Can you put your hands up? Yusuf Awad, Mariam, Haya, thank you. The three of you are following up. That's enough for me. طيب. The problem is, instead of spending much time on the night of the exam reading this stuff, and you'll find it very hard to understand, and you're too lazy to watch the videos, so please pay attention. You'll save your time, Allah. I know it's the 7th session today and you didn't have enough sleep, but I'm sorry, it's for your good, Wallah. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. We'll do them quickly. Based on Meckham's entry, do you think the advance on Culp's Hill was noble or foolish, and why? Your opinion, Bert. If you were the commander of these forces, would you tell them to assault or assail or attack the crest or the top of Culp's Hill? Yes or no, and why? Any answer? Any answer, ladies and gentlemen? Type, I'll choose Mariam. Give me your opinion, Mariam. Mariam, are you following?
Yes, Mr.
Do you think it was noble or foolish of the forces of the South to attack this hill?
It's
they were defeated and they lost a large number of soldiers, right?
Yes.
So it was noble or foolish?
Foolish.
Why?
Because they didn't protect their people.
And they didn't look around carefully. There were a large number of troops in front of them, 2 entrenchments full of northern soldiers. there was fire coming from the forest on their left or right, I don't remember, and fire came from behind, and they were surrounded. They didn't know that they were surrounded by all this fire or all these fires, which is foolish. You should study the place, survey the place very well, and know what you're doing before you attack, right? Do you agree with me, Mariam? Okay, question 2A. Summarize. Describe in your own words the attack on Culp's Hill. Can anyone summarize what happened on Culp's Hill in brief? Describe in your own words the attack on Culp's Hill. I'll go to Tadrus. Tadrus. Tad.
Yes, Mr.
Can you summarize what happened on Culp's Hill attack?
On what?
In your own words, summarize question 2A. Describe in your own words the attack on Culp's Hill.
Sir, I don't know الصراحة.
طب ما بتتابعش ليه يا راجل يا طيب؟
Yes.
Were you following up? Okay, حلوة ألف جميلة. طيب. You know that the southern forces attacked the northern forces in the small town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, their commander ordered them to attack a hill called Culp's Hill, to attack the top of this hill. But to their surprise, they received fire from all around them, from all directions, from the northern forces. Okay, and that's it. And they were defeated after losing a large number of soldiers. This is the description of what happened in brief, Tadrus, okay? Got it?
Okay, Mr. تمام.
Okay, so the northern defeated the southern, or the northerners defeated the southerners, and they killed a large number of people because the southerners attacked before studying the place well. Speculate in your view, in your opinion, who or what was responsible for the Confederates' defeat? جانا الجرايحي. جانا الجرايحي left. طيب.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, تمام.
Excuse me?
Thank you, تمام. شكرا.
أنا مش سامع على شكرا.
بقول لحضرتك شكرا تمام.
ماشي ماشي. أوكي يا تدرس. هو صوتي بيوصلكم متأخر ولا إيه؟ شكله كده بيوصل متأخر. طيب مريم. مريم again. لأن معايا في الربع 4 أو 5 بس. In your opinion, who or what was responsible for the Confederates' defeat? We answered it in the first question.
The fire. The fire, they weren't paying attention.
Okay, so who or what was responsible? The fire. Okay, we can, I think we can say who. It's the commander of the Confederate troops who gave the order for them to advance before studying the area around them very well. Right, كده? طيب.
Yes.
According, and of course, the good planning of the northern troops, because they surrounded the southerners from all directions, and they shoot them from every place or everywhere around. Question 3. According to Meckham, how was the attack like Pickett's charge later in the day? They were surprised and they defeated like Pickett's charge. Infer, how do you think, this is your opinion also, Meckham felt about his superiors' decisions and orders during the battle? Again, he thought they didn't study their decision well. Support your inference when he said that somebody here was just following the orders or showing obedience. I think here Daniel acted in obedience to orders. Of course, it is to be presumed that General Daniel acted in obedience to orders which he didn't like. We remained in this breastwork after the charge about an hour without any support. Why didn't they receive any support? He says maybe General Daniel acted in obedience to orders. He was ordered not to advance again. Make a judgment. Question 4. Is Meckham's account trustworthy? Yusuf Awad, your opinion. Do you trust McKim's description? Account means description of this situation. Do you trust him?
Yes.
Why? طب can you get any evidence from the طبعا مش هتعرف تشوف الصفحة لأنه مش قدامك. يعني I'll help you. I believe that he is trustworthy. I agree with you. And I feel this from a sentence or a phrase he said here. I do not, can you see this part? I do not recall, I do not remember the banners of any other regiment. He mentioned some regiments, here, the 3rd North Carolina and 2nd Maryland. And here I do not recall the banners of any other regiment. From this sentence, I feel that he's trustworthy because he's trying to be honest. He mentioned just the stuff he remembered. As for the stuff he forgot,
Yes.
he tells the reader that he has forgotten them. Okay, guys, thank you very much. And see you tomorrow, inshallah. This is page 502. We stopped at page 502. Remember, we started at page 478. 478. Okay, thank you very much and see you tomorrow, inshallah.
Okay.